Welcome in to another postseason edition pregame episode of the PHNX D-backs podcast right here on PHNX. And my name is Derek Montilla, occasionally known as your mayor of the postseason. You better not even be watching this show right now. If you're a Diamondbacks fan in Phoenix, Arizona, you better be on your way to Chase Field, or you better be there right now watching this maybe on your phone or some sort of device, because we need the Diamondbacks fans to show up. And of course, I am joined by my tag team partner, the hot tag himself, Patrick Lyons. I am broken today.
Are you good?
I am not good. I'm not good. I'm furious. I'm furious. In fact, I still am beside myself.
Steaming.
I mean, come on.
Fuming.
Are we, Patrick? I don't even want to ask this, but
do it.
Are we the laughing stock of the professional sports world right now, based on the price of tickets for Game 3 of the NLCS?
It's weird. Look, Tampa could barely get 20,000 people in that building for the team with the second best record in the American League. That's ridiculous. Now, granted, that was the wild card round, and this is the NLCS, but no, I think people understand 2 o'clock, local time, kids are in school. It's not good. Obviously, it being the Diamondbacks down 2-0, that doesn't help things very much. And just the way that the Phillies have been dominant, I think you get it. But they dipped to a all-time record low, it seemed like yesterday morning at $13.
$12? I saw $12.
But then it went back up to more reasonable.
It's the Yoffs, Patrick. I'm sorry. I know you're not used to me just yelling that randomly, but it's the Yoffs. God damn it.
I bet you there's less than 100 people who got in for less than $20.
No, you're right. When I saw
only a few there.
It was one section primarily, right?
Right.
But again, the main point of contention for a lot of Diamondbacks fans is the 2:07 p.m. local start time.
Right.
And why? Why MLB? Why? Why did we need to do this? There are 2 games, 2 baseball games that need to be played today.
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
There's a serious question in this chat. Is
What
there
is
a
the serious
margarita
question?
bat being sold at this game?
Wait, what?
Somebody look at Cog's Twitter. Well, Derek, you continue on your point, but somebody says, did somebody see the margarita bat picture that Cogs posted?
Bring me that bat. Anyway, yes, I'm just going to say, man, I mean, I get it. I saw my man Moose in here say he's got to work. I get it. But I got to say, Moose, this is what PTO days are for. This is what sick days are for. The NLCS doesn't come around very often. The Diamondbacks have had 1 playoff game so far this playoffs. And they've had 1 playoff game, 3 playoff games in the last 10 years? I mean, you just got to make that sacrifice. I'm just saying. But I get it. I know a lot of people say the 2 p.m. start time wasn't great for a Thursday, and I completely agree with that. I put that one on MLB. What, are we worried about going up against the Jaguars versus the New Orleans Saints on Thursday Night Football? Nobody cares about Thursday Night Football. We'll just set our fantasy football lineups, and we will be done with it. It doesn't matter after that. But I just feel like, especially with the talk from Phillies fans, that, and I get it, because Phillies fans can afford, with the price of a Southwest airline plane ticket and a cheap hotel here somewhere in town, they can afford to fly out here for Game 3 and go to the game for cheaper than they could get a single ticket for Game 1 or Game 2 of the NLCS, right? So I completely understand, that is kind of something to pick on us about a bit, right?
And it's frustrating too, because I think a lot of Diamondbacks fans thought, okay, we're over this. The Dodgers series, right? Game 3.
Yeah.
Oh no, there's going to be some blue. No, there wasn't.
You guys came out.
Rare.
You guys came out. It was beautiful, right? It sold out.
Yes.
And I mean, it was, like you said, it was Diamondbacks fans. There were some pockets of blue, and it's hard not to expect that, right? Because Dodgers fans live here in town, let alone traveling. But I mean, sincerely, when we have a guy out here, a fan, that bought 14 tickets. Is that right?
14 tickets.
Hit me with the tweet. What did he say in his tweet? We're not going to endorse this, but we're just going to talk about it.
Yes. So this morning came out and the tweet went like this. Good morning to everyone except Arizona. I just bought 14 tickets for Game 3 in Arizona to assure there will be 14 less loser Diamondback fans. If there are any Phillies fans out there in Arizona in need of a ticket, shoot me a DM. No charge. We'll accept a donation if you feel so obliged. Wow.
Somebody did quote tweet him and say, my buddy who's a D-backs fan posed as a Phillies fan and got free tickets from this loser.
Okay.
So,
well, I found out because the guy that got tackled at Citizens Bank Park, absolutely leveled, the fan that ran on the field, said that's not the first time that he's been banned from Citizens Bank Park. He said he has been banned before. This is not his first time running on the field at Citizens Bank Park. But he did lose two teeth in the incident.
Oh my God, I didn't see that.
Apparently the workaround is just to have somebody else buy tickets for you, which is the wildest thing I've ever heard in my life, but I guess it makes sense. These people have their hands full with a stadium full of people. Last thing they could do is like sit there with a picture of the guy at the front gate, make sure he doesn't get in. I'm sure there's a lot of people that have been banned from baseball parks across the nation. So
we don't have fan on the field facial recognition technology just yet. Yet. Actually, James Dolan of the New York Knicks, he does have facial recognition technology for people going into MSG, but that's a whole other topic for this offseason.
Go to Chase Field right now.
Go.
What are you doing? I don't know what else to say.
I'd happily have 0 people watching this show if it meant that they were all at Chase Field.
Right. I would happily. Like, you can all watch it afterwards. We could revel together. And I get it. Some of you aren't in town. Some of you, I mean, that's no excuse. Again, Southwest has like $29 early bird tickets right now. Like, what are we doing? Get here. Go to a baseball game. I'm just saying.
Torrey wasn't like totally concerned when asked about it. He said, when you talk about the Dodgers coming in, they bring 10,000, 15,000 fans every single time we play them, except Game 3, of course. I'm sliding that in. He continued to say, so I've been hearing that there's going to be a lot of Phillies fans. I can't imagine it's going to be more than Dodgers fans. I'll be anxious to see what it looks like. Dropping Jesse off at the ballpark this morning. I did see a Phillies fan before I saw a Diamondbacks fan, but that was kind of in line with Game 3 before I came over here to do the pregame show last Wednesday. I saw like half Dodgers fans, half Diamondbacks fans, but then after that, like those were all the Dodgers fans. They just got there early, and then there were no more than that. So that very well could be the case again with this, is that Phillies fans got there early, but it doesn't continue at that same general rate.
Did Jesse drink water, and was he pronouncing it wooter?
Yes, he's become all about Philly. I offered him a protein bar, and he said, I'm good. He ate a banana this morning.
I'm
that
good?
was his breakfast.
He is absolutely not good.
You dropped Jesse off at the stadium?
Oh, like the way Corbin Carroll's parents are.
What are you, Jesse's dad?
We've got a situation going on. Don't worry about it.
He takes him Tuesdays and Thursdays. I take him Wednesdays and Fridays. It's a whole dropping off thing. But anyway.
It's a whole thing.
Someone in the chat asked, what's a filly? By the way, it's a female horse that's too young to be called a mare.
Or someone, the nickname is similar to the town, which is kind of an odd one.
The Philly Phillies.
The Arizona Zonas.
It's the most ridiculous thing ever. But again, I'm not going to antagonize these people.
Did you know for like 2 years they were the Blue Jays in the late 1940s?
Yes.
Fun little side note.
Yeah, baseball was crazy. Like the Seattle Pilots and their whole history and all the drama that one franchise caused in baseball. But that's a topic for the offseason, of course. But for now, of course, we have a lot to talk about. But most importantly, get to the goddamn yard. Go right now.
Go to the yard for the offs. Do it.
Are we feeling fine when it comes to Pfaadt being out there tonight for Game 3?
I mean, you're going to have to. I think the Diamondbacks are going to win one of these games. And that's the thing.
It feels like tonight? Tonight's the night?
It could be Game 4. Like, if you're going to win
tonight, it's at 2 p.m.
Derek. Now, this afternoon. It's still morning in Hawaii, I think.
It is.
Technically
it absolutely is.
No, I think they're going to win one of these next 2 games. If it's tomorrow, that's kind of maybe too little too late, right? Because it's going to be this bullpen game. It's going to be Taijuan Walker. But Pfaadt, he's got to be careful of that home run ball. It's the same story as the first 2 games. Keep the score down low. The bullpen is well rested. Like, that's like a really key piece is that in the last 31 games since September 5th, D-backs relievers, 2.38 ERA, opponents only hitting 206. So you have this strength. You have like almost like a guy on your bench that is going to hit a home run. So you want to put him in the game late with the bases loaded, but there's nobody on the bases. It's not going to, pack that same punch. So you got to get to the bullpen. Pfaadt has to just make sure he does not give up the home run ball.
Yeah.
He threw 96 innings on the nose this year. Of every pitcher that had 96 innings pitched or more, he had the 6th highest home run per 9 rate. One of the guys who had a worse rate than that was Lance Lynn, and we saw what happened to him last week, giving up 4 home runs in an inning during the NLDS. So you really hope that Pfaadt doesn't befall the same fate.
Look at this. Look at this update from the vice mayor, Jesse Friedman.
Yeah, what is he? Doesn't he have work to do?
Don't he have work to do? What are you doing? He says, hello, friends. Pretty much the entire first base side is Phillies fans right now, as well as the right field bleachers. Would say the rest is vast majority D-backs. So good. Want to fill that stadium up. Moose says they need to stop being so tense and wake up the bats. That's absolutely something we're going to talk about. And I do believe our favorite Algerian D-backs fan, Jagurtha, is here. He said, let's go D-backs. Tonight's our night. When Jagurtha's here for a 2 p.m. start time, I'm fired up. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to run through a brick wall. So things are good. I feel like all of the good vibes are back. But Brent Strom had more on the keys to Brandon Pfaadt's success. And this was provided by our very own Jesse Friedman. So here's what Brent Strom had to say.
Well, the changeup has obviously been a work in progress for Brandon. He found it in the Dodger game. That's going to be a key, obviously, to both lefties and righties. It plays to both. But again, he's going to have to do some work to, these are not uneducated hitters. They study what our tendencies and things like that. So what we need to do is be a little bit unpredictable in our times that we use the changeup and when we use our fastball or the breaking ball below the zone. There's multiple areas to go to. It's just a question of them not getting into what I call when hitters can kind of centralize and I don't think hitters really hit the ball as it's thrown. I think they anticipate things. I think they sense where things are going, and if they can eliminate pitches, then that makes them that much better.
Man, of course, he's alluding there to that changeup, of course, being such a big part of
it's got to be
Pfaadt's line. Yeah, it absolutely has to be. And I mean, there's no room for mistakes tonight when it comes to leaving those fastballs over the plate, especially once Pfaadt starts feeling frustrated if he's not able to hit the zone. But yeah,
what would you rather in the early going for Pfaadt? He walks 2 in the first inning, or he gives up a solo home run in the first inning? Is one better than the other?
Walking 2 for sure.
You'd rather that?
Yeah, I just feel like Pfaadt, that one of his superpowers that a lot of people have said is that he stays relatively calm, right? That he's able to stay, not let the big pressure get to him. I felt like we saw that.
Game Brandon.
I felt like we saw that a little bit, right, in game 1 of the Brewers series, just a bit. He looked shook, but I think that was it. The jitters are done. Like that's what the overall playoff experience for this team I think is so good for. Is like, yes, even if the desired outcome isn't that we win, the desired outcome doesn't happen that we win the World Series. This experience is invaluable for this young team, especially with so many of these guys under team control for so long. That they're getting better, and these big moments aren't going to be as scary for them. It's the old adage, like, I got my ass kicked and it wasn't so bad. I survived, right? So like sometimes that's the case. And so far the Diamondbacks have gotten their asses kicked in this series, but of course I'm concerned about that. There's concerns about what the Phillies hitters had the kind of, stretch they're on this amazing offensive streak, but it still hasn't been, they lost 10-0. That game got out of control. That game was not that, for the first half of it. And again, the Diamondbacks really just need some offense to show up. But Torey did talk about bullpen management, especially with a lot of unknowns for tomorrow's game on who they're going to start, what they're going to go with, but how he's going to use the bullpen tonight.
Yeah, I'm not going to worry about tomorrow. If we got to win this game today, that's it, plain and simple. Everybody, you can't during the season. You could say, "Hey, we're going to be okay." We don't have time to be okay. Like, we got to do it right now. So yeah, the investment is going to be. It's going to be a full investment today, and everybody's ready to go from the first pitch on. And we'll get through tomorrow. We're guaranteed a game tomorrow. I know that. But I can't worry about that right now. We're gonna go all in on today for sure.
That's understandable because again, even though this isn't the final game, right? This isn't a clinching game. This is still like your back is up against the wall. There is no more tomorrow, and they've been playing like that for a while. But I understand what he's saying because in a game like this, if they need to go to the bullpen, it doesn't matter how early it is. We need to see Kevin Ginkel. We need to see Ryan Thompson. We need to see Paul Sewald. Even in a non-save situation, these guys need to be utilized. It's their high leverage guys. You can't let it turn into what game 2 turned into, which was, a 2-0 game that became a 10-0 game in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, the only hits that Kelly gave up were the solo home runs, which again, not ideal there, but still like the momentum is stifled a little bit. But that being said, the Diamondbacks had the same strategy going into last Wednesday of like, hey, we're up 2-0, one game at a time. Let's win this one. They just wanted to get it over with. So they're doing that again here, one game at a time.
Yeah.
They're not concerned with Zach Gallen not going tomorrow. Now, Torey did say that as far as Kelly and Gallen are concerned, like, yeah, if those guys kind of want to offer up like, hey, it's my bullpen day, I'll go out there, then sure, they'll kind of make that decision when it comes up. But Gallen is not going to save this team if they lose in game 3. The plan is for him to go game 5. Yeah, Kelly for going game 6.
Yep.
That's it.
And that's wild.
I know.
It's wild. So of course, I don't know what the game plan is even going to be, but I'll tell you this. As far as
better not be
the lineup is different, though.
Ryan Nelson.
It's unpredictable.
The
right?
lineup
You
is
don't know
different.
what
We'll
you're
get to
going to do, right? And the lineup is different today, but I mean, maybe being unpredictable against a team like this that is so prepared or seems so well prepared to take on, especially the best arms that the Diamondbacks have to offer, maybe that's the best move. It's worked out for them so far, and I know that Torey was kind of hesitant to go to bullpen games, but much like he wanted to go to a closer by committee early on in the season, his philosophies changed on that as we got down the stretch because he noticed that he could rely on his bullpen and he could have those guys come out there and just consistently give him an inning plus and get them through those 9 innings. You just hate to see it in the playoffs. And of course, it's another thing that is a reason why the Diamondbacks, were just such a literal wild card to make the playoffs because they didn't even have a full starting rotation for basically the last 2 months of the season, it felt like. So, they're still lucky to be here in this spot. And obviously the short series that they went with the Brewers and the Dodgers benefited them. It was it actually helped them. But when it comes to this kind of series with 7 games, they're going to need to figure it out for game 4. Still a dangerous team. And they need to be dangerous on offense in order for them to do anything big. But make sure to get the official T-shirt of a dangerous team. And we are dangerous. Get that We Are Dangerous shirt right now. Of course, if you are not a diehard member already, you can get that shirt as part of your diehard package. Sign up today, become a diehard member. You get a free shirt from the PHNXLocker.com. You'll also get 20% off all future purchases. If you are a diehard member, you can get that shirt right now for 20% off. Get out to you quickly because I just got mine in the mail, I'm being told. And unfortunately, I'm not home to throw that bad boy on, but we need it. We need it. Of course, make sure you get that membership. Of course, you get all sorts of benefits, including all of Jesse's content. You get access to our members-only Discord lounge, which is the best place to be an Arizona sports fan. Discounts with our partners and so much more. So sign up today. Also, if you're here on our PHNX Sports YouTube channel, we appreciate all of you guys being here. We would definitely appreciate you more being at Chase Field. I'm not going to shame you or harp on this anymore, but I probably am because I'm still kind of on it. But we love you all for being here. Of course, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, make sure to get that or do that now. Sign up for notifications. That way you don't miss whenever we go live. Leave us a thumbs up just for our own personal self-esteem. If you're listening on the audio podcasting side, please make sure to subscribe there as well. And leave us a review. We always appreciate that feedback.
If you are watching this live and you work in a place where there's like in an office space where there's a lot of cubicles, right now just take a second and don't have to be loud, but give a little ski-yee.
Yeah.
And you might find somebody else in your office watching this with us live now as well. Yeah, make a new friend.
Ski to you, Patrick.
Oh, ski Mayor.
Ski to you, Faj.
Ski Jacob.
To you guys. Going to ski to you all.
You do have a super chat.
Ski to be calm, see clearly. Okay. He said, am I crazy for thinking we should have traded 27-year-old Mitch Keller? He would be going today. Fought game 4 and back to our 2 aces, games 5 and 6. Oh, there is a lot of things that we could go back and have revisionist history about with this team. That's for sure. But we definitely appreciate that from you. And also, we would appreciate it if the offense also showed up tonight. As much as we're harping on you guys to show up, we need the offense to show up because, man, they have not shown up so far in the series. The D-backs did make significant lineup changes with Ranger Suarez on the mound tonight. So let's go over those changes. Gabriel Moreno is hitting third now. Tommy Pham has been moved down to fifth. Emmanuel Rivera will be playing third base and batting eighth. Evan Longoria moves from 8th to 7th and will now be their DH. No Alek Thomas against the lefty. And Tommy Pham playing in the field for the first time since September 22nd.
Got a little toe injury there, but he's, Tori said he just kind of has to suck it up just there a little bit. I think Alek Thomas actually probably would have been one of the pieces that you would need to have given up to get a guy like Mitch Keller. This is actually the first time Gabby Moreno has ever hit third. In his big league career. In fact, most of the season he was batting 7th or 8th.
I kind of love it though.
Then he was hitting 5th.
I kind of love it.
And now he flips and switches spots with Tommy Pham. The
Desert Moose's boss told him to shut the fuck up. Okay, that's fair. Your boss might be kind of awesome. Sorry.
Yeah, we talk about the Diamondbacks being dangerous, and you go, well, nobody's more dangerous than the Phillies. But sure, they're getting a lot of production out of like kind of the same guys. 7 different players have homered, of course. But the Diamondbacks and Rangers, they've had 8 different players homer this postseason. Yeah. So I think that's part of the offense coming back. You got to steal some bases when you get on, even if you only have a couple opportunities. Really force the hand of Ranger Suarez, which is going to be hard because he's a left-hander.
He's a left-hander, and there just hasn't been a lot of opportunities. Like I know that the broadcast obviously harped on that. I know a lot of fans want to see that. When you come to maybe this is a case of overmanaging. Maybe it's just again a hat tip to the Phillies for what they've done to limit the Diamondbacks running game, but it just doesn't really feel like there's been a great opportunity that they've been missing. They haven't been able to get base runners on. They haven't been very patient. And again, going back and looking at, I rewatched part of Aaron Nola pitching. I just couldn't. I wanted to see what really went wrong. And yeah, you could have said the Diamondbacks could have been more patient games 1 and 2, but they weren't missing. So it's like they were going to strike out looking if they were more patient. There was just a wild. Did we get Caesar fired? Oh, we got Caesar fired.
Sorry about that.
You know what, Caesar, just tell him it means when I holler ski, that means pull up. That's all.
I think every time we get somebody fired, we need a separate jar for that one. Swears is one. And then if you get fired, we'll just start.
That's not fair. I've gotten so many people fired. I know Yoshi isn't here, but I know he wants me fired.
Here's the thing. There's hope out there for Diamondbacks fans because obviously you feel like you might need it just a little bit. Astros were down 0-2.
Yeah.
They ended up winning last night, and they did it on the road. A little bit harder to do that.
Yeah.
So that's obviously really positive. I know the Phillies have won 3 of the last 4 here in Arizona in June, but it was Ryan Nelson and Zach Davies who started those games, right? Since 2017, D-backs 24-15, a 615 winning percentage against the Phillies. So that's actually the best of any non-NL East opponent against Philadelphia. So that's also something that gives you just a little bit of hope going into today.
I'm not thrilled about the outfield, if I'm being honest, but of course
the defense, you mean, right?
The defense, yeah.
I mean, maybe offense too.
But most of it is just because Alek Thomas, once again, is such just an incredible defender that now you have Corbin taking over for Alek in center field, and Corbin is a fine defender out there. He's just Alek Thomas is such a good center fielder that everybody else kind of makes their mistakes, and especially playing here at home. I've told you, we were talking about the porch and everything the other day and just how awkward it is to play out there. But we'll have Tommy Pham in right field, Lourdes in left field, and Corbin there in center field. And I mean, honestly, they just need to get something going.
So basically, the switch is Emmanuel Rivera for Alek Thomas because of everybody shifting around. Okay, Longoria at third base, he's going to DH.
Yep.
Pham is going to the outfield. Corbin's going from right to center. I don't know how much of an upgrade that is, but you do have Thomas coming off the bench if and when you need him as that defensive replacement. You gotta, I think, change some things in the lineup just to change some of the mojo just a little bit, get some different looks, and I think this kind of checks off those boxes in a good way, as best as you could possibly hope right now.
Well, and if Emmanuel Rivera can go back to being Stanuel Rivera that we knew from earlier in the season, just be that hitting machine he was, getting him back into the lineup could be effective.
Yeah.
But I mean, he really dropped off as far as his production goes. And, again, I get it. At this point, the Diamondbacks need to try something else. Of course, Alek Thomas will be available for maybe a pinch hit situation or maybe to get him into the game later.
Pinch running.
I think Torrey's going to do whatever he's going to need to do to try to adapt throughout this game and try to throw a lot of different looks at the Phillies, who seem very comfortable right now. And the Diamondbacks, meanwhile, do not seem comfortable. But, of course, before we get out of here, I'm going to give you our bets for this week. And when I say bets, I mean, I got 2 different parlays. One has a very specific purpose. And let's take a look at them. This is just a straight up 3 home run parlay for Nick Castellanos, Bryce Harper, and Kyle Schwarber. Now,
this is a strategy.
You might say, Derek, why did you do this? You might say, Derek, you Judas, how dare you betray us? Right? I say, so far, the things that I've done haven't really gone the way that I've wanted them to. So maybe me betting this is a little 4D chess. I don't know. I mean, I am willing to sacrifice $5 to make the Arizona Diamondbacks win a game. But actually, this is a real 5-leg single game parlay for you. I'm definitely going over on the runs because, boy, I think a lot of runs are probably going to be scored tonight. Ketel Marte, he's currently on his hitting streak still. I think he's going to keep that going. They had batters struck out 1+ and 2+ for Brandon Pfaadt and Ranger Suarez available, which that seems like a slam dunk.
Brandon Pfaadt is a strikeout pitcher.
He's a strikeout. I mean, you could go up on this, but I'm not deviating off of that Kyle Schwarber home run. I still think that's going to happen,
and again,
regardless of which parlay.
It's called hedging your bet, where if the bet loses, your team ends up winning. So it's a scenario that you're guaranteed to win something. No. It's why you're the hedgehog.
People say jinxes don't work in reverse like this. Maybe I'm just trying to win a plus 8,000 3-leg parlay. Maybe that's all I'm trying to do. I don't know what I'm trying to do.
Ores seems to think that the Diamondbacks are going to get a win today. He's a Phillies fan.
Let's go.
Okay.
I appreciate that. I appreciate you being here. And I mean, honestly, it is what it is. But we talked about game 2 being a must-win. The Phillies held court. So if you want to say it's a must-win, game 3 is absolutely a must-win tonight.
The home team has won every game in the series, Derek.
And they have to keep doing that so far for the Diamondbacks in order for them to have a chance. But really, in order for them to have a chance, we need this offense to show up early and give Brandon Pfaadt some run support so that he can go out there confidently. And I mean, there are some things that are just basic. Like, it's basic common sense, right? That a pitcher is going to pitch better when they have some run support. But at this point, I feel like this is one of those things, I believe, like Moose said earlier, where, the longer that it doesn't happen, the longer that it keeps, the more they struggle offensively, it's like it doesn't feel like it's going to get any better. So just go out there, have some fun today, guys, and play some baseball.
It's going to be interesting. I know Suarez has good postseason numbers. 1.16 ERA in 7 postseason games. He had good numbers in Chase Field in his June 14th start, 7 innings pitched, didn't give up a run. But here's the thing, the lineup was totally different. There was no Corbin Carroll, no Ketel Marte, no Tommy Pham, no Gabby Moreno. So we're talking like 4 of the top 5 hitters. So that was a different Diamondbacks team in so many ways. And again, Zach Davies got one of those starts as well as Ryan Nelson. So there's things to be hopeful for. There's a reason that the Diamondbacks have gotten this far. They have to go out there and play well in order to win. Remains to be seen. But, hey, look, this is why we play the game.
Caesar says, bro, if the Phillies celebrate in our pool, there was already talk about them celebrating our pool. I swear to God. Oh, I swear to God.
There's supposed to be no pee in the pool, right? Isn't that a thing? Like for Phillies, there's no pee in our ool.
There's defensive measures we can take place, that we can resort to. But anyway, I do feel like all of you guys are fantastic people for being here. But really, seriously, get out to Chase Field. Go right now. I don't care about traffic. I don't care about your job. I will send you a excuse note, whatever you need. Hit me up. In the meantime, you can find me on Twitter if you want that excuse note. I am at @cap_caveman with a K. This maniac next to me is at Patrick D. Lyons. Of course, we all know Father Overlord Jacob is behind the Mac today. You can find him at Jacob_Franklin 4. He's the 4th best Jacob Franklin. Of course, we are at PHNX D-backs, but all roads do lead to at PHNX_sports on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We thank you guys so much for your presence today. We appreciate your time. Let's go watch the Diamondbacks win a playoff game. And remember, kids, baseball is fun but it is so much more fun when you keep the Phillies from peeing in our pool.
We all silly like the mayor.